Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on my video, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. So today, like the title says, we're going to be talking about how to become the self-confident female you've always wanted to be. I personally have struggled with confidence a lot of my life, so I understand that it takes a lot to become a more confident individual. But with time and with action, you will get there. It's not going to happen overnight, like I said. It's not even going to happen in a week, but you'll start to feel more confident in yourself in a week, in a month, and in a year. You're going to be like, dang, I was like that a year ago. I am going to be getting ready while I'm taping this video because I do have to go to work after this, so bear with me. I'll be showing you all of my products while I'm getting ready, okay? So first, I'm using a blemish control face primer from e.l.f. I like it because it just makes my skin feel a little more moisturized. I need a tiny bit of moisture with my makeup, otherwise when I take it off my face feels really, really dry. It's also just good to use a primer. So this first tip we're going to be talking about is maintaining good posture, and the reason that this is such an important tip is because other people see you as more confident and you feel more confident. I've been trying to implement this more over the past couple of months for myself. It's not that I've become this super confident person overnight. Like, no, again, we've talked about this. That's not the deal. When I stand tall or when I stand up straight and I'm focusing on my posture, there is something that happens in your body that your brain is actually feeling more confident in itself. There were 2 studies done on 2 separate groups of people, and the group of people that were put in a confidence stance, they were more confident in themselves, they had a more positive outlook on their future, and they were just all around more confident in their answers when they were asked about things. Even when they were asked questions about things like, what are you bad at? They were more confident in what they were bad at. They were like, no, I really suck at this. The counter subjects, the subjects that were placed in a more doubtful stance, they were more slouched, they were less confident in their answers, they were less confident in themselves, and they had a less positive outlook on the future. The other study found that people that were placed in the confident position actually stuck with harder tasks for longer, whereas the people that were put in a doubtful position, they gave up on tasks quicker because they just were like, okay, well, I can't figure it out. Even if it was an impossible task, that there was no answer, there was no way that they could do it, the people put in the confident stance, they stuck with it for longer. They couldn't do it, but they stuck with it. Okay, I think I've talked about that one for long enough, so let's move on to tip number 2. So I've decided today I'm going to use my Mary Kay CC cream. I need to get a new foundation because this is for kind of like in the middle of winter to summer when I'm like a little bit tan. I am not that tan right now, so I need to get a lighter one. But yeah, this is the foundation I use. I actually really like Mary Kay products. There are vegan products and they feel really good. I don't know. And they're supposed to be better for your skin, but like, I don't know about all that. Moving on to tip number 2. This one is more of a self-help tip. You know, this is more of a thing for you to do on your own in your own free time by yourself, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to find activities that you like that aren't relying on anybody else. Because I think it's actually good for you to have activities outside of work, outside of your coworkers, outside of your friends, something that makes you you. For me, that's a couple of things that I've honed in on over the last couple of years. I have found that I really like soccer. I like that it's a physical activity outdoors that makes me feel like I'm doing something, and it makes me feel happier with myself because I'm giving my body exercise without really thinking about it. I also like it because exercising, it releases endorphins and dopamine and serotonin, which are all the happy chemicals in your brain. So when you're doing that, you're actually making yourself happier. So something I noticed that a lot of women don't do with their makeup, they don't mix it into their neck. I'm gonna do this because I actually don't have enough foundation to mix it into my neck. You just put a little tiny bit on your sponge and then you just mix it all in. And what this does is it makes it so there's not a hard line in between your jawline and your neck. So it all blends better, it all looks more cohesive. So that's one activity that I like to do that isn't necessarily reliant on other people in my life. It's not reliant on my friends, it's not reliant on my coworkers, it's not reliant on my family. All I need is other people that like soccer, and believe it or not, there's people that like soccer out there. Say that you're not into like sports, you know, or you just aren't a very like physically active person. There's other activities that you can do. I also like photography. I obviously like making videos, but I really like photography. If I want to, I'll go on a hike and I'll take pictures on my hike. But if I'm not feeling super active, I will just go and I'll find a nice viewpoint. I'll just find something really interesting. I'll go to the city, I'll walk around a little bit, and I'll just take pictures of anything that I find of interest, you know, anything that I'm like, oh, well, this is pretty, or this is cool, or whatever I want. If neither of those are interesting me and I'm like, you know what, I just want to stay inside, I'll write. I really enjoy writing. I'm not much of a like, oh, let me write about my day, but I really like to write short stories, and I have a book of like 300 writing prompts. I look up prompts online. If I'm just really in my feelings, sometimes I'll write, you know, a short story about something that's going on that I'm thinking about, and I'll change the names and I'll write about it from an outside perspective. You can always go online or you can go on Pinterest, and if you're not really sure about any new hobbies or you don't know what you want to do, like you can just look online and you can see, okay, well there's all these hobbies, like let me just pick one and figure it out. So this brings me to my next point, tip number 3, stop caring about other people's opinions. This is a Mary Kay under eye corrector because my under eyes suck. Someone told me this once, opinions are like everybody's got one. Do you care about everybody's? No. So why do you care about everybody's opinion? So something I do want to talk about, you know, I feel like a lot of people have so many opinions about other people's lives and, you know, what other people can and can't do because other people have had life experiences. I'm not knocking that. Other people have had their own experiences, they've had their own time doing their own thing. Just because they've had an experience with something doesn't mean you're going to have that same experience. And even if you do, you have now had that experience. That doesn't take anything away from you. They don't need to say I told you so. People like to say I told you so. People like to think that they're right about things. But at the end of the day, guess what? Somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to be the next big model. Somebody has to be the next big football player. Somebody has to be the next rapper. Why not you? So the next time that you're telling someone about your dreams and they're shitting all over them, go ahead and ask them what they're doing to achieve their dreams. So we're going to move on to tip number 4. Have faith in yourself. You know yourself better than anybody. You know your abilities better than anybody. So why are you gonna listen to other people who don't know you at all, who don't know your abilities? You know you better than anybody. This is a foundation stick from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It looks like that. There's a girl that I worked with that was an avid skydiver. Like, all of her days off, she went skydiving. If it was even a partly sunny day, like it could be cloudy, but just like a peak of sunshine, she was out skydiving. We all knew it. She literally worked there to get a paycheck to go skydiving. She had the license for it. She would spend, when she went, she would spend the entire day there. She was a skydiver. As much as I would love to do that, I am not a skydiver. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be someday. I very much so plan on going skydiving at some point in my life, but I'm not going to become a skydiver. That's just not me. I want to have the experience, and I know that I'm capable of doing it. I know that I'm capable of getting up in a plane and jumping out of it with a parachute and somebody else to make sure that I don't, just... That's on my bucket list. I'm going to do that someday. I'll probably do it within the next year, but I know myself and I know that that's not going to become me. And I know myself, I know that there's some things that I'm not able to do. I'm sorry, I cannot pick up a tarantula. I can't. I can't be... I can't be anywhere near spiders. I know myself. That's not me. I know my abilities and I know that I wouldn't be capable of doing other certain things. But there's some stuff that I just don't know. Honestly, I'm making this YouTube video. This might flop. I might not be able to do this. I might say a year down the line that, oh, you know what? This isn't for me. I don't like this. But I'm doing it anyway because I want to have the experience so I can say, you know what, this isn't for me. Or I can say, you know what, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. At the end of the day, have faith in yourself. The only thing stopping you from doing something is you. Okay, the next thing I'm going to use is a Sephora bronzer and a Wet n Wild highlighter powder. Like I said earlier, my assortment is really weird. I don't have like one specific brand that I use. So my fifth and final point is just face your fears and do whatever scares you the most. With me for a second, go ahead and conjure an image of something that scares you, okay? That could be asking for a raise, or telling someone that you don't like something that they're doing, or making a YouTube channel, or making a TikTok, or just something like that, you know? What's something that you've always wanted to do that you were scared of doing? I have done all of those things. I've asked for a raise, been denied. I've told someone that I didn't like what they were doing or how they were treating me. I got yelled at. I made a TikTok that didn't even get 10 views. And it was horrible. Go ahead and conjure that image. And what is the worst possible case scenario? What is the worst thing that could happen from you doing that? Are you gonna lose your job? Are there people in your life that are going to stop loving you? When you do that thing, are you gonna be completely alone because of it? No, you're not. There will always be somebody that still loves you, somebody that is still there for you, somebody that still supports you throughout that whole process. If you aren't going to be financially burdened to the point of no return, and you're not going to be at risk of being hurt in any physical way, then the only thing stopping you from facing your fear is yourself. I'm going to blend it out. It's up to you, but at this point in my life, I would rather do something, fail, and get back up and try something else than never even attempt, because I don't want to live with regrets, and I don't want to look back in a year and say, dang, I wish I had started sooner. Thank you so much for tuning in today and clicking on my video. I really appreciate it. And if you liked my look, if you liked what I had to say, please let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and please follow me on my socials. DM me any questions, or if you want to see anything. Like, I just want to hear from you guys more. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, lovelies, and I will see your confident selves next week. Bye!